with quarantine lockdown going on and the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, I thought it was time to turn my attention to one of my other long-running projects, my second R2D2. I actually have most of the parts. I think I have them all. And I've actually made a lot of progress in different parts, but this is a new dome that I got. One of the toughest parts of my first build was the dome, because at the time, technology wasn't what it is today. And the long story short, the inner dome didn't fit into the outer dome very well, so I spent weeks trying to get that to fit. It was a long saga. I had it on a blog for many years, but it doesn't matter anymore because now we've got these new domes made by, I think, a gentleman named Darren Murin. I'll post a link below if anyone's interested. And they just fit beautifully. I don't even know how they get this beautiful finish. The previous one had all kinds of spin lines and you just had to sand it and polish it for hours and hours. This thing's beautiful. Looks like it might have been pressed or something. Oh, my hands are filthy. Jeez Louise. Been in the workshop all day today. So what I've done right now is I've marked up all of the pieces, marked up the interior of the dome with all those numbers, and then I used a saw blade, a hacksaw blade, to get into the little slot and saw all those little nubs off. So what I have to do now, next step is to go in with a file and a Dremel tool. Got a couple different files to use, and knock down all those nubs. And I have to go through all these parts and deburr them, because that looks like that would not be a fun edge to meet up with human flesh. So my hope is to finish this up today, get all the deburring of the nubs done and all the panels, and that will count as quite an accomplishment for today. And gosh, I'm really looking forward to getting this dome done in record time. I swear, the first time around it was just pure agony getting it done, and it's already going so much faster, and I'm really excited how well the outer dome fits inside the inner dome. I am done denubbing the dome, but I still need to deburr. See, there's still some chunks there. I'm going to use a Dremel with a stone bit on it. So yeah, I've filed out all the nubs on all of the openings. Not super fun work, kind of meticulous, but took about an hour to do the dome. Time to move forward. All right, I'm basically done with the deburring of the outer dome. And it was a lot of work. Cleaning up all these little lines was, it took a long time. Let me show you the inside. You can see all the little rough edges are gone. They've all been sanded nice and smooth. And so now I can handle it without any worries of cutting myself wide open. Anyhow, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. That took longer than I thought. Next step is to move on to the stack of pieces and basically do the same thing. See all the little nubby edges, and it's rough. So I'll clean all those up, and then I think I might call it quits for today. I have finished for the day. I finished all the little pieces from the dome. It was actually a lot of manual labor, which just isn't super fun. It's really repetitive and sort of hard work, which I'm clearly not cut out for, but everything turned out great. Basically just went around all the edges, sanded them down, deburred them, sanded them this side, sanded them this side, and did a quick run over this edge too, just so it's not razor sharp. Most of these will actually be painted, so any blemishes on the surface I'm not too worried about. I think if I come back to the workshop tomorrow, what I will do is hit these with a coat of primer. And I'm actually going to be painting these with a rattle can blue. On my R2D2 V1, I used automotive paints, which I had to custom mix. Bought a sprayer for them. All told, the paint job on my first one was like $3,500 just for the blue and the white and the gloss. So this time, because this guy I'm building now, R2D2 V2, is intended really to be a walker and one I can take out and about. So I'm going to be paying a little less attention to having that automotive perfection finish, which was one of my design goals for my first guy. And this time it's really all about having one that I can sort of take out, go for walks with him, do events, and not be too worried if he takes some damage. So by using off-the-shelf rattle cans, I can easily do touch-ups, or I can just dismiss it as battle damage as necessary. Another look at the outer dome, and really the danger at this point is like stepping on it or sitting on it, and I'd say there's about a 50-50 chance, knowing me the way I do, that will happen. So I need to be really careful with this because it's really pretty fragile with all those pieces removed. It loses a lot of its structural integrity, and it's sort of fragile until it gets mated up with the inner dome. So I just need to be real careful. And by the way, I feel really confident that the minute I stop this video, I'm going to step right on it, so I'm going to be super careful. Anyhow, I think that wraps it up for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more R2D2 build. If you have any questions or anything, first stop is astromech.net for sure. So if you're not a member, go sign up there. Or you can post in the comment section below, and I will see what I can do. But all the real knowledge, man, is on astromech.net. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one. Hey, we're back for a little post-credit sequence here. When I filmed my last video, I thought I was done for the night, but before I left for the night, I picked up the inner dome and was super flummoxed by the amount of burring inside, and I just couldn't leave that as it is. So I spent about an hour actually deburring and cleaning up the inside of the dome. It was not at all pleasant. Deburring is not fun. I am very lucky. I didn't draw any blood today, which is actually super surprising considering all the sharp edges on all these pieces. But I did get a few deep scratches, but no blood. So I'm going to consider today a victory. And overall, gosh, you know, I tend to say this a lot, but I'm pretty pleased with how things are going progress-wise. I did a lot today. I probably spent about 4 hours total on the dome. Which is pretty cool considering my schedule and my short attention span. I usually get pretty irritated with repetitive tasks and don't stick with them too well. And today was full of them, but I am really motivated to get this thing done. It's been sitting on my workbench for a few years now. Like I started collecting pieces for my second R2 quite a few years ago, but I think really getting this dome and getting my workshop cleaned up again has really pushed me forward. The dome, man, it's a deal breaker, or deal maker, I should say. This dome is just so great and so easy to work with, and it's such a difference than the last one. So I'm really excited, and yeah, some really good progress today. I guess this is the post credit scene. This is like a bonus Marvel movie today. I just want to show off this dome ring. This was made by the same guy who made the dome, and just the engineering that went into this thing is just beautiful. Like, it is amazing. This was obviously cut from one giant piece of aluminum. It's just beautiful. This is all one solid piece. It's smooth, it's almost polished. I don't know if this was polished or this is how it came off the machine, but man, it is just beautiful. And it's just a really interesting statement about the state of the art of the hobby right now. Just the types of things you can buy that are just so precision machined, so beautifully constructed. It's honestly, it's staggering. Like I'm a very much an amateur machinist, and I know a little bit about how these things work and the time and effort and expertise involved in producing a piece like this. And it's just staggering to have this in front of me. Like, this is so much better than the one that I used on my droid that I made 10 years ago. It's just beautiful. Here's the inner dome sitting on top of that dome ring, and the fit is it's just beautiful. It's I'm speechless. It's just so weird how nicely that fits. That's gonna really go together nicely with just a little adhesive. You know, it's interesting, my camera sort of distorts the shape of the dome a little bit. In the pictures, or my video, also it doesn't look quite accurate to the real deal, but I promise you that silhouette is right where it needs to be. And last one for the night. This is the outer dome on top of the inner dome on the dome ring. And man, everything just fits so beautifully. Like, you see how in there there's pretty much no space in between the outer dome and the inner dome. Like, there's a tiny, tiny little bit, but it's almost imperceptible. Like, if I wasn't looking right at this, I wouldn't even see that. And also that amount of tolerance is phenomenal. For two compound curved pieces to fit together this well is just a marvel of engineering. My hat's off to you, whoever made this dome, Mr. mirror. It's startling what a thing of beauty this is. The way the whole thing fits together, the way everything lines up, the tightness of the tolerances. I don't have the ring on here, that's why that gap's there, but geez, this thing is just beautiful. I feel almost bad to glue this together because I kind of just like it the way it is. Okay, for real, that's the end of my video for today because I'm gonna go wash my hands and go home because I've had quite enough. Thank you again so much for watching, and gosh, I'd really love to see this thing finished.